Good evening, Bahamas on the broadcast tonight. The Deputy Prime Minister responds to the former Prime Minister, saying they will prove the Christie administration mismanaged the country's finances. Plus, fulfilling campaign promises. A senior cabinet minister says the Free National Movement will deliver. And thousands of young Bahamians get ready for this year's National Summer Program.
News is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news, the weekend edition, and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Knowles. Finance Minister Peter Turnquest says former Prime Minister Perry Christie will soon see the proof the F&M has of the reckless spending under his administration. Just days after Christie defended his government's performance in office and claims of financial mismanagement, Turnquest told our news the F&M isn't just talking and that all will be revealed in the very near future. Our Carl Joaquin spoke with the Deputy Prime Minister and has more in tonight's top story.
In an interview with our news on Thursday, former Prime Minister Perry Christie took grave exception to any suggestion that members of his administration were involved in any type of criminality and said once forensic audits are completed, the Minnis administration will be left disappointed. But Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest disagrees.
I think there's a lot that the Bahamian people need to know, and I'm sure that over the next coming weeks, a lot will be revealed. As we said during the budget debate, every day there's something new that is coming across our desk. And so all I would say at this stage is that we continue to do our work. We continue to unveil various issues that we will put before the Bahamian people. Like I said, just stay tuned.
Christie said he watched the budget debate dispassionately as the new government painted spending under his administration as pure wastage. There is also the claim made by the Minnis administration that the former government awarded nearly $8 million in contracts for hurricane cleanup to a single vendor operating 4 companies. Christie said when he accepted responsibility for the PLP's loss in the election, there was never any thought that he was accepting responsibility for criminality or irresponsible spending. The Minnis administration has ordered forensic audits to be conducted on the Urban Renewal Department, Bank of the Bahamas, and the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, none of which, according to Turnquest, has been started as yet.
We haven't started forensic audits, but we have started reviews. And so we are looking at contracts, we're looking at actions that have been taken over the last couple of months in particular, but over the last 5 years. Make sure, again, that the Bahamian people got value for the money that they spent.
Now, as for what will come out of all these audits and investigations and whether anyone will be held accountable for any wrongdoing, the Deputy Prime Minister said the government will let the law take its course.
All I can say is, again, we will go where the evidence leads us. Right? And so I think that the Prime Minister has been very clear in his intent, and we will hold those who are found to be accountable if the evidence leads us in that direction.
Our news, I'm Carl Joaquin.
Meantime, Minister of Financial Services, Trade and Industry Brent Simonet says the Minnis administration will deliver on its many campaign promises despite the mess he says they met when they came into office last month. Simonet was addressing criticism aimed at the government in recent weeks. Our Jasmine Brown has the details.
The Minnis administration made a number of promises on the campaign trail. One of the most anticipated promises was the pledge to eliminate VAT on breadbasket items, but that has yet to happen. Simonet pointed out that those promises are not off the table, as he says the Minnis administration will eventually deliver.
We do intend, when Dr. Minnis, the Prime Minister, made comments about VAT on certain areas, he has come out and said it will be a 2-step event. Some were done in this budget, some will be done in a later time as the finances of the country continue to improve or we get a handle on where we are.
The Minnis administration has yet to say when this particular promise will be fulfilled, and that has prompted criticism from the opposition Progressive Liberal Party. PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts has accused Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis of deceiving the Bahamian people after not fulfilling the promise to repeal value-added tax on electricity, healthcare, and breadbasket items. He insisted Dr. Minnis backpedaled from the pledges that were also outlined in the speech from the throne. Last month, Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest said it's simply not prudent for the government to eliminate or reduce VAT on items since the government still does not know the true value of its account payables. Simonet says that fact still holds true nearly 2 months since the minister's administration took office.
The election was May 10th. It is now, beginning of July. One of the issues we had to go straight into is budget.
Simonet says the VAT promise cannot be kept at this moment because the government has been forced to borrow more than $700 million to fulfill its budget obligations.
Bills that had to be paid. It was unexpected. So these are issues that have to be dealt with for the government.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, the Minister administration is expected to announce the names of appointees to various statutory boards and committees this week. That's according to Free National Movement Chairman Sidney Colley. With over 6,000 people expressing interest in serving on the 108 boards, committees, and advisory councils, Colley says they have a mammoth task in selecting people to fill positions on the boards.
I have been inundated with calls from all over the country by Bahamians who have expressed interest in serving on the statutory boards, committees, and advisory councils. And I just want to assure them that the government is working as fast as possible to get them published. We work from 9 o'clock until 4:30 on Saturday. The cabinet worked from 11 until about 5:30. So hopefully, if all goes well, those boards, committees, and advisory councils should be published this coming week.
And while it's become common practice to appoint politicians to chair various boards, the F&M chairman says it won't be the same this time around.
There are some statutory boards where the former Prime Minister, F&M Prime Minister, and this Prime Minister will not appoint a politician to be the chairman or the executive chairman of certain boards. It will be strictly persons from the wider society. The actual identification or identity of the persons on the boards, I will not disclose at this time. That will be strictly for the government to disclose at the relevant time.
As for Foreign Service appointments, Colley says once the statutory boards and committees are published, government will then shift its focus on filling those positions.
That is not to say that the government is not working on identifying persons for Foreign Service. There are career Foreign Service officers, the technical officers from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is handled by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and then the diplomatic and consular corps, those are appointed by the Prime Minister.
And when asked about speculation as to whether he is being considered for an ambassador post, the F&M chairman would neither confirm or deny. Nearly 25,000 people have enrolled in national health insurance to date, and according to officials, while enrollment numbers have stabilized, enrollment remains open for persons who wish to select their doctor who they can receive primary care services at no cost at point of care. However, as of tomorrow, the enrollment site at the Enoch Beckford Memorial Auditorium on Carmichael Road will close permanently. Instead, the NHI Bahamas building on East Street and Purpose Way will now be operating as an enrollment site beginning on Monday. In-person enrollment will also continue at the Cotton Tree Fox Hill location, which remains open. While NHI officials say the in-person enrollment process is a quick and seamless one, the fastest and most convenient option is for eligible persons to enroll online at www.nhibahamas.gov.bs. And we'll take a break here, but still ahead tonight. A veteran hotelier calls on government to give preferential treatment to hotels. That story and more when our news returns.